Time slips through your fingers, doesn't it? You reach for it, try to hold it, but it's like grasping water in a rushing stream. You're told to plan, to prepare, to carve out a future from the raw stone of today. And yet, the harder you chase, the more the present eludes you. Have you ever paused to wonder why? Why does living fully in this moment feel so impossible, so unnatural, when it's all you truly have? There's a quiet promise here, a whisper beneath the noise of clocks and calendars. If you listen closely, you might find that time is not your enemy, but a story you've been telling yourself. Let's unravel it together, gently, and see what lies beyond the ticking. You've been taught to see time as a line, a road stretching from past to future, with you as a weary traveler racing to keep up. You measure your days in tasks completed, milestones reached, or years left to conquer. This is the common illusion, that life is a journey to somewhere else, a puzzle to be solved by arriving at the right destination. You feel it in the tightness of your chest when you're late, in the guilt of an unfinished to-do list, in the ache of moments you missed while planning the next. It's not your fault. This is the game we're all handed. A board where every move feels like it must count towards something grander. And yet, this way of living leaves you strangely hollow. You've noticed it, haven't you? The way a perfect day still slips into restlessness. The way even triumphs feel like they belong to someone else. The world tells you to keep moving, to build, to achieve. But the faster you run, the less you feel the ground beneath your feet. It's as if you're a dancer who's forgotten the music, stepping frantically to a rhythm you can't hear. This is the weight of time as a construction, a story we've all agreed to play along with, not because it's true, but because it's familiar. Here's the paradox. Living fully in the present isn't about escaping time, but seeing it for what it is, a story, not a cage. Imagine a friend who lives by the clock. She wakes at dawn, her day sliced into precise segments: work, gym, errands, sleep. She told you once over coffee how she feels like she's always behind, like life is a race she's losing. You saw the strain in her eyes, the way her hands fidgeted with her cup. She laughed it off, said it's just how things are, but you felt her exhaustion, her quiet wish to stop running. This is how most of us live, caught in a game where time is the opponent and the board is rigged to keep us moving. The game begins early. You're taught to see life as a series of steps. Finish school, get the job, build the family, secure the future. Each step promises that the next will bring peace, but when you arrive, the board stretches further. You're not taught to pause, to question the rules, or to notice the beauty of the piece you're holding right now. Instead, you're handed a map that says, happiness lies ahead, and so you run, eyes fixed on a horizon that keeps receding. Notice how this feels, not like freedom, but like a leash. What if the problem isn't you, but the game itself? Consider the ocean for a moment. Waves rise and fall, each one unique, yet no wave tries to become the sea. It simply is, moving with the tide, whole in its brief dance. You too are like this, complete in this moment, not a fragment racing to become whole. But the game tells you otherwise, whispers that you're not enough until you've won, until you've arrived. This game has a strange power. It makes you see time as a scarce resource, something to hoard or spend wisely. You weigh every choice against an invisible clock. Am I too old for this? Too late for that? You compare your moves to others, as if life were a race with a single finish line. But here's the secret. The board is an illusion, the clock a prop. There is no finish line, only this moment, shimmering like a wave before it returns to the sea. And yet, the game is seductive. It feels safe to follow its rules, to measure your worth by how far you've traveled. You've felt this, haven't you? The way a quiet evening can feel like a failure if you haven't done enough. The way a moment of stillness feels like stealing from your future. This is the dance we're taught, not to sway with the music, but to march toward a goal that never quite arrives. The cost of this illusion is heavy. You chase, you strive, you exhaust yourself. You fill your days with tasks, believing they'll build a bridge to peace, but the bridge never holds. You rush through meals, through conversations, through the soft light of a sunset, all to stay ahead of time. This is the first trap, believing that living is something you do later, after the work is done. You lose the taste of now, the weight of your breath, the warmth of the ground beneath you. Another trap is comparison. You look at others, their careers, their homes, their seemingly perfect moments, and you feel behind. You measure your life against theirs, as if time hands out fairness like a referee. This creates a second weight, the sense that you're failing at the game, that others have cracked the code while you're still fumbling. You tighten, you judge, you hurry. Then there's the trap of control. You plan, you organize, you try to tame time into neat boxes. You believe that if you just manage it better, you'll find ease. But time slips through every plan, doesn't it? You grip tighter, you tire, you resent the clock for moving too fast or too slow. This is the third cost, the illusion that you can outsmart time when all it asks is that you flow with it, like a river carrying you gently downstream. Here are 3 subtle ways this illusion binds you. First, you mistake busyness for meaning. You fill your hours with motion, thinking it proves you're alive, but all it does is drown the quiet voice that knows what matters. Second, you let the past or future steal the present. You replay old mistakes or rehearse tomorrow's fears, and the moment you're in fades like a forgotten dream. Third, you treat time as a debt. You act as if you owe the world a perfectly spent day, and so you live in apology, never quite free. The cost isn't just personal, it ripples outward. You snap at a loved one because you're rushed. You miss the laughter in a child's voice because your mind is elsewhere. You walk past the world, the trees, the wind, the fleeting smile of a stranger because you're too busy chasing the next square on the board. This is the deepest loss, not just your own peace, but the chance to touch the world with presence, to be here fully as you are. Now consider the turn, the quiet shift that changes everything. What if living fully in the present isn't about fighting time, but surrendering to it? Not surrender as defeat, but as a dancer who lets the music guide her steps. Here's the paradox. You don't escape time by ignoring it or mastering it, but by seeing it as a story you can step out of, like waking from a dream you no longer need. Time is a construction, a way of seeing not the truth of who you are. Picture a river, muddy with storm water rushing past. You could stand on the bank trying to clean it, to force it to be still. But if you wait, if you let it be, the mud settles and the water clears on its own. This is presence, not forcing, not fleeing, but allowing the moment to unfold. You don't need to fix time or outrun it. You simply need to be here, like the river, whole in your flowing. This turn isn't about effort but release. You've been told that living well requires struggle, that you must carve out meaning with sweat and plans. But what if meaning is already here, waiting in the pause between breaths? What if the present is not a task, but a gift you've forgotten how to open? Notice how this feels, not like chasing, but like arriving. This doesn't mean you abandon plans or goals. The dancer still learns her steps, the river still finds its way to the sea. But you hold them lightly, knowing they're part of the dance, not the point of it. You move with time, not against it, and suddenly the moment becomes enough. You are enough, not because you've won the game, but because you've stopped playing it. How do you live this? Start small. Try this. For one moment today, pause. Feel your breath, the air on your skin, the weight of your body. Notice the world around you, the hum of life, the light on the floor. You don't need to force anything, just let the moment be. This is the first step, to see the present as a place to rest, not a hurdle to clear. Here's a simple framework to carry this forward. Pause, notice flow. First, pause, stop the rush, even for a second, and let your mind settle like that muddy river. Second, notice, feel what's here, your body, your surroundings, the quiet pulse of now. Third, flow. Move into the next moment without clinging or resisting, like a wave returning to the sea. This isn't a rule, but an invitation, a way to taste the present without making it another task. When worry creeps in, about tomorrow, about what you haven't done, try this. Ask yourself, what is here right now? Not what should be, not what was, but what is. You might find a tightness in your chest, a fleeting joy, a flicker of boredom. Let it be without judgment. This is presence, not a perfect state, but a willingness to meet the moment as it is. For one day, let go of the need to use time well. You don't need to optimize every hour or prove your worth by what you accomplish. Try living as if this moment were enough, as if you were a dancer who trusts the music. Notice how this shifts your steps, how the world feels lighter when you stop weighing it against the clock. When you feel behind, remember the wave. It doesn't rush to become the sea. It already is the sea in every rise and fall. You too are whole in this moment, not a fragment racing to complete yourself. Try whispering this to yourself when the day feels heavy. I am here, and that is enough. See how it softens the edges of your striving. If you find yourself comparing, pause and look closer. The person you envy is also playing the game, also caught in the illusion of time as a race. Instead of measuring, try seeing their smile, their struggle, their fleeting moment on the same vast stage. Offer them a nod, a silent wish for their peace, and return to your own step in the dance. When plans fail or time feels scarce, consider the river again. It doesn't fight the rocks in its path. It flows around them, finding its way. You can do this too. When a deadline looms or a dream slips away, ask, what can I do right here with what I have? The answer is always simpler than you think. Don't make presence another goal. You can't fail at being here because you already are. Try laughing at the absurdity of it, how you've been searching for something you never left. This laughter, this lightness, is the doorway to now. Step through it, not with effort, but with curiosity, like a child discovering the world for the first time. This way of living can feel lonely at times. You may notice others still racing, still chasing, and wonder if you're the odd one out. But this isn't loneliness, it's solitude, the quiet space where you meet yourself. You're not separate from the world, but free to be in it without being owned by it. You can love, work, create, all while holding time lightly like a prop in a play you've chosen to enjoy. You're not late, you're not behind, you're not broken. The game tells you otherwise, but the game is just a story, one you can rewrite. You belong to this moment, as a wave belongs to the sea, as a dancer belongs to the music. This is the relief. There's nowhere to get to because you're already here. And yet this belonging doesn't mean you withdraw. You can still engage, love fiercely, work with care, dream boldly, but you do so knowing it's all part of the dance, not a race to win. You offer your presence to the world, not your performance. This is the gift, to be here fully, without apology or rush. Let us return to that opening image. Time slipping through your fingers like water in a stream. You don't need to hold it because you are the stream, flowing without effort, complete in every bend and ripple. Time is a construction. Living fully in the present isn't about mastering the clock, but seeing it for what it is, a story, not your master. You may forget this tomorrow when the game pulls you back in. That's okay. Each moment is a chance to pause, to notice, to flow again. You may not solve time, but you don't need to. Let this be enough for today. To be here, breathing, moving with the music of now. That's all the dance asks of you, asks.